All right, you guys are good.
Which one do you want?
Don't tell them that. Deborah, I've got pen either.
I'll give that to you. That's, we need to figure that out, the insurance for the rental. So then pay it out and submit it back to you. Well, who do you want that, you know? You. I don't know, no information what this, I'm zero.
Okay, it's 4 o'clock, September 13th, 2022. Council meeting is setting.
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first thing we have is August 23rd minutes of city council, which was all sent out to us. Any corrections, changes, or deletions? None here.
Okay.
Accept the motion to accept the minutes of August 23rd.
I make a motion to accept the minutes of August 23rd, 2022.
And second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Pass. Then we have August 29th, special session. This is in regards to the grants. So any corrections on this?
None here.
Do we have a motion to accept these from August 29th?
I make a motion to accept the August 29th special session minutes.
A second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Approved. Then we have a September 6th minute in the special session. And Nick and Andy were here.
I saw no corrections.
Do I have a motion to accept these?
I make a motion to accept the special session September 6th, 2022 minutes.
A second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Next is report, fire report.
Don't have a big report. We've had some medical calls we've been responding to. We had assistance, basically, we just blocked traffic and that with the windstorm. We were toned out for security around the power line that came down. For training, we went over our coverage area, which is basically the city boundaries and that. And I have 3 new people interested in the fire department, which a couple of them are in their 30s, so that would be real good. Just hopefully next Tuesday I see them. They're all one family, so hopefully it does they work out.
And I think somebody asked, we can still dump down at the, just.
Yep, burn pit's
Right,
still
right,
open, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Anybody
Yep,
have-
and when we get some weather, it was, I think, October 30th when we burned it off last year. So, that, I don't know what it's gonna do, but
Yeah.
it could be. And that's all I got.
Do you need council's permission or authority or something to go and contact these people that don't mow their tall weeds and cut down some of the trees that are in their yard?
Well, yeah, I don't know exactly what the approach is on that, if it's fire department or if if the letters go out every month, could go out in their bill or something. I can sure put a list of the land that I think should be worked on and it go out through the city. Cause I don't have their,
Yeah,
I just know, it's on the corner of Ibex and Austin or something. That's as much as I know about it.
could you get that to us?
And if I said somebody's place, I was just throwing
Yeah,
something out there.
yeah, they just get us the ones that you think's a problem, maybe we just send them a quick
Yep.
note in their water bill.
Yep. And there is some stuff coming up for that kind of stuff, some funding and stuff I'm working with Gary Timms on. It probably won't take place this year, but there is funding that we could do that, so the city would get reimbursed for fuels and stuff like that if we had that expense. And, there is an expense anymore with everything you do, so.
Oh, great, thank you.
Thanks, Bruce. Rob,
Okay. So are we still standing on the green dots?
Yeah, everybody's on camera, so
We
we don't.
encourage it, it's all good, I'm happy.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. So we got this, you can see it on there, everybody's vehicle, that's okay. Okay, so a couple months ago, I started including the appropriations review, which is the second page that you guys have. This is, it's kind of exciting. We're actually getting to a point where we have good enough records that we're able to do a budget to actual on a monthly basis. So you actually see where we're tracking. So you can see there's really nothing too exciting. You're gonna see some variability in each of the funds. The administration department is kind of a general fund that includes personnel services and materials and services for the administration. And then general fund is broken up between fire, parks, and administration. And you can see the percent remaining. And so what we do is we take the full budget for the entire year, and then we take the actual and subtract it out of that, when we did the percent remaining. So you want to have roughly the same amount as you have for the rest of the year, right? So in this case, 10/12 is what we want in there, which we're a little behind on administration, but that'll probably even out just based on where time is charged in there. And then we're a little bit behind on personnel services for sewer. We've been spending more time doing those types of things, sewer related. The other thing is in road fund, you can see we're way behind on materials and services. That's not correct. But we don't know what that number should be at the moment. What that is the street oiling. And so we did some of that stuff is budgeted in flea market and needs to go into flea market. We believe it should be about 8,000 to 12,000 should be charged for flea market materials and services. But at this time, we're not exactly sure because they charge us a rate by the number of feet that we did. Some of it was related to the flea market lawsuit and some of it was not. We did more than that. And so 18,500 of the 18,998 is in that materials and services is related to oiling of the streets, and some of that will get moved. We're actually going to measure the amount that was actually done that was related to flea market and that was not related. So that will be changing in future reports, but I wanted to call that out so everybody was aware of what's in there.
We don't have an item we mark it around here.
It is, it's the second fund.
flea market fund.
It's its own fund. Sorry.
Fire department, what is really in that fund?
That is only what runs through the city.
Okay.
Yep. We're all aware that there's the volunteers spend money. The city has no visibility to that at this juncture. All right, so I'm going to flip back now to the report we're all familiar with, the same one I've been doing since I started working with you guys. Just kind of, so what we looked at is everything that's recorded through August 31st. And then this, I just trying to make sure everybody understands what we're reporting here. So that's what's actually on the books through August 31st. So from July 1st through August 31st, and that'll keep going every month. You add another month to it. This September cash flow statement is what's looking on in the future. And so all these checks won't actually hit the books until September. And so none of these expenses are actually included in the report I just provided to you. Just to clarify. So you can see right now, we have 131,000 in our checking account. Our prior month collections were $30,000. And then our expenses, we have the HECO engineers and Dakota Consulting checks, which have already been signed as they're grant related and just associated with the project. So those have already been mailed out, but I included them on here just so the board can actually formally approve those. And then down below, nothing too exciting. The bigger checks, we had Boxar water testing for 1,067. Our credit card was 1,013.90. That's the Banner Bank number. And that was just mostly just general supplies. And then there's some filing fees in there as well. We had Grumpy's repair a fire truck, $1,018. And then my services were $1,800 last month. We had BYO Dawn Northwest was a sewer survey for $2,450. And then we had Warrington, and then OTEC for $1,500. And then Warrington Construction Corp for $5,000 related to the water tower. And those are out of the ARPA funds that we already received. And then on the back side of that first page, just kind of gets to where we estimate what our cash will be by the end. That's why we have such a large balance of $131,000. We know we have a lot of expenses coming. And so we expect to be about $56,000 in a month. And then we do have money in the LGIP as well, which is $181,000. And so it brings our total cash balance for the city up to $313,000. And that concludes my report.
Any questions for you all?
Yeah.
No, they were on. Did you want to hold the check though for Bio-One until we get that report? Just like I said, I haven't heard whether we got it or not from them. And Renee, oh, have we got it?
Yeah, I gave it to the guy,
Okay, so we do have it. So we don't.
and Jeff reported on it last
Session.
session or last meeting.
Yeah, but he told me that he didn't have it. He said it was coming. That's what he said in the meeting.
No,
So it's here?
So we have a report.
Okay.
And he
so that's
reported
good.
on.
Well,
okay.
So do I have a motion to pay the bill?
this one right here, I want to bring out, for commercial tire. That one's coming out because,
Yeah, there's a misunderstanding on that. The bill, so Charlie paid it with a credit card.
Okay.
And then he gave us the invoice from them. Theirs looks like an invoice to pay rather than a receipt. And so we cut a check for it, but Charlie caught it. So we'll pull that check.
Okay, we're pulling that check.
yeah,
Okay, so.
And then there's that other invoice that I provided from you from the
Oh, okay.
Pattersons.
Okay, and then we have one other invoice that's not on this. It's $25. Rebecca went and made some copies of city maps that they're using for their workshop. So we have
for $25.
$25 to reimburse, so we need to add that too. So,
Yeah, check something.
Yeah, we're not charging you for any of the frame or the time or any, just the printing of the maps.
this is nice, thank you.
And the county didn't charge us for the original map sheet.
Oh, cool. That's good.
John, do you want that check today or do you want to wait till next month?
It's fine, whatever.
So we'll add that $25 a month. So I have a motion to pay the bills to include that $25.
I make the motion that we pay the bills as brought forth, taking out commercial tire and adding the $25 for Patterson.
One second.
Okay, all in favor? All opposed? Okay,
See, well, introduce available.
Today.
Oh,
I do them the day of.
okay,
Would you like me to do them earlier?
I would like to have an email to you if I could, like the day before, if that's not a big. to
I
do.
can give you a draft the day before. The problem is that some of these invoices, especially
Oh,
some of the local ones, don't come in until last minute.
I guess they can wait till next week, next meeting.
And they can, and that's fine. We can set a cutoff, council can set a cutoff date. You guys are a government, we can do it, whatever the government wants.
but if we don't pay the OSAC, then we get the late notices
Yeah.
and shut off notices and all that kind of stuff. And they're the ones that usually come in late.
Yeah, the OTEC's usually late, and we have to get them paid.
We could set that one up for automatic ACH. There's a small fee to it, but we could set it up that way so we pay it online. And then
Okay.
just include it.
Maybe that would be the best.
Yeah.
So we change OTEC to. Is everybody in agreement to change OTEC to ACH? Their motion to do, change it,
I'll move that.
okay.
I'll
Second,
second it.
okay, all in favor? Opposed? Okay, on to planning. We have two applications. One is for Anderson's storage shed and a covered parking. We have all that in front of us. You guys look at it or? Comments, concerns?
No, I don't think it's, I don't see any problem with it. So I make a motion that Tammy Anderson's application is approved.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Okay, then we have one for Bakers. This
Oh, it's falls the fence, that's a corner wall, isn't it?
it shows thank you for space perimeter.
Give it 15.
It's gonna be see-through fence. They said they were gonna make the fence just like, Merritt.
Chain link.
No, the hog
Oh,
pen.
hot bin. Any other comments or discussion on this?
The only thing that I would say is because the fence doesn't say what kind of fence it is, that we stipulate that it's a see-through fence. And or they'll have to come back and do the building code for the fence.
The whole thing would have to be see-through or just in the clear vision part?
Well, the clear vision for it, for
On
sure,
the corner.
which is this corner.
Both corners.
Yeah, two corners there.
Well,
No,
actually, it'd be this corner, it'd be New Street. This corner is Manila.
oh, there's one, two. No, there's 3 corners.
Two corners.
Two corners where there's an intersection.
So it would only be in the clear vision.
Clear vision. We'd have to have a clear fence, on the corners for clear vision.
And or it's only 3 feet tall.
So do you want to approve this with that stipulation, or do you want to go back to them and explain it to them first?
I don't have it for me. Let's see what it says about the height of fence at a point.
I think it's supposed to be
3 feet.
2 feet. It's supposed to be 3 or 4.
3.
Um,
I believe it's 3 feet, and then it's gotta come back 30 feet from each corner. So it would be 30 feet in, 30 feet in on the property line.
The words there say.
You might check that just to make sure it's not 4 feet.
I thought it was 4.
Yeah. you might have to-
okay, why don't we,
Why don't we make, you know, I've got a conflict of interest, I'll tell you that, because I'm doing some work for these people, but it seems to me if you make the motion that the fence is approved, as long as it complies with the extant zoning ordinance, that will do it.
I'll second that, Martin.
Well, I didn't. make it.
Works good.
Just say what he said.
Okay, what he said. we
I make a motion what he said.
We will let them know. Okay, all in favor?
Who seconded it?
Charlie did.
But
No, I made a
Martin,
motion.
Martin couldn't, because he,
Oh, Martin.
Oh, you weren't.
Oh,
I made the motion for
I'll
what Mark said.
Okay,
I abstained.
and you abstain, that's right. Okay, all in favor,
Aye.
opposed? Okay, we'll let them know. The next thing on is a grant writer proposal. Martin, you brought up at the last meeting, because we were talking about a city manager.
Yep.
And you said you would rather have a grant writer, administrator. So when Nick was here, I did take him aside and talk to him for a few minutes. He does do situations like that. He's doing it for several other cities. He would like to, if we're interested in doing that, coming back at a meeting in October, because he's kind of busy right now with the grants. Because he would do, it's kind of like an hourly rate. We'd have to sit down and he'd like to know what we're really wanting. You know, just sit down and kind of meet with him. So are we interested in having him do that in October, to come and talk to us about it?
Well, while we're discussing that, I've been talking to the people at the city of John Day, the mayor, and their city manager just retired.
Yeah,
And he's gotten a pile of money for them, for projects.
right.
He is now being a grant writing consultant for a bunch of communities there. And I want to talk to him to see what he has to offer also.
Okay, we can talk to both of them.
Beg your pardon?
We can talk to both of them.
Okay, great.
It's just, you know, we know what Nick will do for us. So, okay, well, we'll see when they're available and we'll set something up. Next. Oh, in old business, we have city recorder application. We had several inquiries. We did not, nobody sent their applications in. We need to, put the ad back in. I did go on to LOC has a password website where people can post if they would be interim city clerk, city recorder, city managers, so forth. I did go on there today and there's nobody on there that's interested in being a city clerk or a city recorder for interim right now. So we need to repost this position.
So perhaps instead of having a deadline on it, you say open until filled.
Yeah.
Make a motion to reinsert the ad for city recorder.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? When's the deadline, Renee?
Friday. Oh, for the,
So to get the ad in?
I think it's Wednesday for Fridays and Thursday for Saturdays.
Okay. Okay.
And you can also put it on LLC.
Yes, we can
Website.
put it on LLC. I think it's $30 for a month, but I'll check and see if they did say they could do that. Okay, under housework comments. Charlie, did you have something?
Yeah, I'm writing. We're gonna start the McCully re-graveling of the potholes. I got the paperwork in there. It looks like we're gonna need anywhere from 400 to 500 yards of, I say 1.5 inch, crushed. So we're gonna get it from Artie Mack. It's $30.85 a yard. delivered, put in place. Tim is gone this week. He should be back the first part of next week. I went ahead and ordered, and they showed up today, the scarfing teeth that go on the grader. So we got those, because basically it just says we have to scarf where the holes are, no more than 3 inches, so it's easier to do it with the grader.
And this is coming from the Forest Service.
And this is for the Forest Service, for them cutting those trees down. We agreed that we would take care of that road. It's a little over a mile, it's not quite a mile and a quarter, but from start to finish, and there's some pretty good sized holes in there. I told Tim, I said the thing that I believe that we should do is start at the bottom. He can rip them prior to, because it's still reflaggable. So he's gonna rip those, and then we'll start at the bottom, because we're supposed to roll the road. We can wheel roll it. They would like to see it with a roller, but wheel roll would work just fine. It doesn't have to be a roller. So with that, we'll just rip the road on wherever we need to do it. Going in past the gate, that road's really bad. It's all rutted out right now. So it's got ruts in it. So that's a half a mile long. So it's going to take quite a bit of gravel to fix this. But like I said, if we start at the bottom of the hill and you work your way in, because the truck's going to have to go all the way in to the inlet and turn around up there and then come back out. So as they do that, they'll be wheel rolling as we go up. So everything will be compacted by the time we're done.
Okay, so.
So we just I need a motion to move forward with this. It's gonna be about $15,000 in gravel, is the way it stands. If we use the full 500 yards, that's fine. If we don't use the full 500 yards, then naturally it'll be cheaper.
And is this the type of item, has anybody checked the page to see if we need to put an RFP out?
I haven't checked with her, but this is something that was required on that deal that we're having but we're doing the work ourselves.
We're doing the work.
I know, but the purchase of materials.
We got two bids, and it's like one of them came from.
So
We did, well, we didn't, I guess we don't know about it, we can call it that, but we didn't advertise for it.
If I may,
Oh, go ahead.
Oregon purchasing law requires 2 quotes on anything over, or 3 quotes on anything over $10,000. Unless it gets up to 150, then you must put an RFP out there.
Well, how do we get 3 quotes when there's only 2 people who do it?
All you have to do is call 3 vendors. They could be 100 miles away. I mean, just the 3 closest vendors and get 3 quotes and document it, and you're done.
Okay,
You know, if they're so far away, they're obviously not going to, and that would be awesome if you get them to say that. You just say, hey, I need a quote. Okay, well, you know, it's $35,000 because of all the mileage.
okay,
But
so we can do that.
get it in writing,
Mhm.
Yeah, we
have
have
it
it.
in a spec sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ORS 279B.
Okay, so we get 3 quotes.
Statute.
Can Charlie be one of the quotes, since he just doesn't really have the equipment to do it?
I don't think so. I don't know if that would be conflict or not. I have to ask Dave.
But he could bid it.
I have to get it. You know, Charlie.
Yeah, because I have pressure, it's just not up and running.
Well, that's the same as not having a crush.
Okay, we'll get, we've got 2.
Well, we
quotes.
just-
We'll get 1 more quote. The thing is, this is gonna have to be done
Because we'll have to go,
in the next few weeks, right?
it needs to be done this week, and then we want to start next week. Because we need to get this done and get this signed off, especially if we're gonna ask the Forest Service if we can go in there and tear up more of their ground here in the future.
Did they give us a deadline?
What's
The Forest Service, did they give us a deadline on
I don't know if they did or not, I haven't seen one.
Okay,
But the thing is, though, this money is out of city pocket. And we're getting, that's the other ordeal, because we're getting ready to hopefully make some money on some tax parts.
Okay, so Charlie, can I speak?
yeah,
Charlie gave me a heads up on this. currently you have enough money in your budget to make that expenditure. But that budget was built expecting other expenditures. And so if we do make those other expenditures, ultimately we will have to, and we end up being over budget by $15,000, we will have to do a supplemental budget. So just a heads up on that.
Okay.
Currently, we're not. You have budget authority to do that expenditure. But if we end up getting the grants and doing all these other things we did budget,
Mhm.
you will end up having to do a supplemental budget.
Okay. Okay, can you give another quote?
Yeah, I'll find somebody, probably will have to come out and build
Okay. So do we?
John's got a question.
About Harney Rock.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't call Harney.
Okay, so Charlie, you get the 3 quotes in writing.
Yep.
Okay. And then I guess, do you guys, once we get the quote and get to pick the lowest bid, do we want to move forward right now to do it, or you want to make us wait for another 2 weeks? Because we've got the equipment and the time.
Yeah, because like I said, with Tim being gone this week,
Just look on the roads.
we got these roads that we were gonna start down here probably around the 26th or 27th.
Can we flip off that and start on these roads first?
No, we can start, but it's gonna end up costing the city more, well, costing more money because we're gonna have more moves in and out.
That's right.
To where the way that I got it covered is when they pick up a piece of equipment, they're bringing another one up.
I don't think you can authorize it by having the quotes.
We gotta have the quotes, so. So we'll just have to table this, and if we can get them right away, we'll just have to figure out something to do.
Okay.
Can have a special meeting.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so that's my colleague. Marcia, do you have anything?
No, I'm not done.
Oh, you're not done, okay.
Because what I think what we should do too is, we always are getting these contractors to be city people. I think we need to see about getting Tony's tree service to be the city tree guy. He's the one that's served the city before. He's come in under bid of everybody else that's come in. Just so that way we know we have somebody that's in the city that can do this without always having to come to Tony says always answered the emergency calls, come up, done the work. And
Is there something we need him to do now? That was your.
he's going to probably have him come up right now when he can and do that. Taking out those trees up there off of Climax.
We need to get a quote for that from the two.
You want to quote for me? Okay,
Yeah.
we can do that.
How much it is?
$2,600.
Is that what it's gonna be?
That's what it is.
And that's for the trees
what-
and the
that's what-
road.
That's for the trees in the road, getting rid of everything, chipping everything. The 2 big trees that are on Bruce's property, we're gonna drop them. He's gonna limb them, where he's gonna leave the wood there for Bruce to have, because those are big trees. And then the other ones he's gonna chip and be done with it.
And that is grant money, isn't
And
it?
that's all. It
Okay, this is the trees for roads on the grant money, so.
Yeah, because there's the Climax ones and also the ones that are on granite. Between Climax and Ibex. So we can line that road.
So is it, I mean, do we need him for any other tree? Is there any reason why we can't just contact him as we go, or?
Well, we can just contact him as we go, but that's the thing, is if you want to just keep coming to meetings every time we meet him.
Well, we always.
Because basically, right now, he just told me, he said that for us up here, he said it's $2,600, and he says for the day, he said that's truck crew and everything else for one day.
We need to have him kind of give us a quote on each job.
Okay.
Great.
You gotta,
Yeah, when you say Bruce's, is that Bruce Hoover's?
The one up on the hill, I believe, so yeah.
Is that the portion of the street that you already opened that's already in use by the public?
East Granite.
Oh, yeah, that's part of it that goes to Bruce's.
Yeah.
And then we're also gonna go from Climax to Ibex. That little narrow section. And we're gonna widen that one corner out so Tim can come around it better. And then we're gonna widen out probably about 3 feet of the road going up to Jeff and Daisy's piece of property up there. And if we do, because right now that road, that's a 60-foot road, and if we take it all, which we can do, it just costs more money to do it, like it's grant money. But the thing is though, is then you're interrupting with the other 2 people that are already, their driveways are in the city street. So it would be a big, I had Noodle come up and look at it. He can do it in about 4 or 5 days with a V6 and dump truck. But that's a lot of material to move, and it's about $50,000 to do it.
Well,
And
these
that's no
roads,
ground. That's
these
just-
roads you're working on are grant roads.
These are grant, this is grant roads, that's what we did, and, because I knew that when we put in for it, because I knew Jeff and Daisy's gotta get a little wider, so then get cement trucks and the other things up there, however, it does get into their place. You know, but the city will be responsible for having the plow, which we can't get a plow up there now, whether it be the deuce or whether it be the grader, because the road's too narrow.
Okay.
It's only about 9 feet wide.
Who else benefits from this besides the general funds?
We have to maintain the roads as they go up.
Who else benefits from it
I
besides?
don't know if there are any other, anyone else that lives in that,
No, that's in that area, no.
not yet.
Not yet. The only thing that's gonna be beneficial to anybody would be the other 2 places down below as far as plowing the road. As far as making the other road climax going up there, nobody else is gonna benefit from it. Per se,
Okay, well, this is the
but we need
grant
to be
road.
able to plow it.
Yeah.
Just have one more comment. Part of the RL, isn't it that they have to provide their own road and water and sewer set provisions, and that's in the RL.
That is RL up there, that's what I thought. Yeah, they have to provide their own access
If it's a subdivision, it's not a subdivision.
in an RL zone.
which is-
I'll go back and look, I thought that applied to all RL zones.
Okay, well, these are the grant roads. We'll look at that, but these have already been submitted, so.
These are what we've been approved to do.
Okay, Marcia, do you have any, that it shows?
No, I'm done.
Marcia, you have any?
No, I'm good.
Martin?
Nope.
So, Martin, did you ever get a rough draft contract to,
I've got
Planning.
a rough draft. Does she want it now?
no, I'm just asking, it's something that I've been tabling on and
Oh,
on
okay.
and on, so we do have a.
I'll get it out to her. I've got a draft.
Okay, I just didn't know, like I said, I keep moving it on, so. You guys have anything else? Public comment?
I'm back onto the road, I'm clearing of the road, why are we not cutting those logs down, getting the truck up here and selling to wood?
Because we don't own the logs.
Huh?
We don't own the logs.
We don't own the log.
We don't own the trees.
In the street?
Yeah, no. Wherever who butts up to the property, to the street, it's their trees. We get to take them out if they're a hazard. We get blamed for it if it's a hazard, but
If they're in the street right away?
yeah, same thing with Baker County and Baker City, same thing.
Huh.
Now, it was news to me too, John. It was like, really, we're responsible if a tree falls over, but if you want the tree, you get it.
Okay, anybody else?
There are state statutes on that. And I'm not sure if it applies in a municipality. I know it does apply in a county. Because I just had a case with that. But it may not apply within a municipality. So that might be something you want to check.
Can you check on that?
Can I?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, if there isn't anything else,
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
What's that?
Oh.
Oh.
Systems development chairs to stay. From LLC. You can take that and look at.
Okay, great.
Right.
You click, so you click in.